Good afternoon. My name is Athanasius Mahamata. I am the General Manager of Signaling and Telecommunications and Strategic Asset Development. We also work under Prasa Technical. We are looking after the entire infrastructure or enabling the infrastructure for the operations. So in the main, we are the custodian of the entire railway system in terms of maintenance, implementing new systems or modernization.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Hello? Okay. Hello? Okay. Thank you very much, Edie. Thank you very much, you as a moderator today. My name is Fezile Dantile. I'm the Managing Director of Plaza South Africa, which is the local partner of Plaza in Tora, most of whom of you I think you know, the world leader in mechanized heavy truck maintenance machinery. We are based in Stallmill, south of Johannesburg, and we support the railway industry across Southern Africa. In South Africa, our main clients are Transnet and Plaza, and we do work as well in the mining industry. On a personal note, I am an author of 5 books, 4 in English and 1 in Xhosa, published between 2006 and 2021. But I'm not here for that today. And yes, I'm a member of SARA as well, and I'm a board member of SARA as a person. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I would like to greet the board, as well as I think I saw the executive director as well as the new leadership. My name is Mabuza Shabalala. I represent Panrol South Africa, and which is based in South Africa, Isando, just near the airport. Those that we've met during this conference, we've directed them where we are. We do have a branch in South Africa as well as in Mozambique, which is partly a satellite branch. We are operating within the SADC region and by extension to other countries in the African continent. We specializing in the railway fastening systems, mechanized monitoring systems, your welding, and with that said, we are exploring other products as well, being an innovative company. You might have at least heard from our MD earlier this morning in his presentation of the innovative products that we are manufacturing. And as most of you might know, I hold a role of being the sales and marketing director of the company. And we are very much keen to share some information and maybe some insights into track maintenance, as well as how we can, by all means, support as well as take part in all the projects that have been shared in this conference. I thank you.
Good afternoon, and as the moderator said, I spoke too much yesterday, so I'll be very, very short. Richard is my name. I'm the president of NGRT, and I would say that I'm going to be so bold to say we are world leaders in infrastructure monitoring. So we will monitor any infrastructure of the railways with our technologies. We are currently now involved in 5 continents around the world. So if you have any questions, we can address them afterwards.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for that brief introduction. I've been given questions, but I'm going to ignore most of them. Railway maintenance or track maintenance is like dealing with potholes on the road. What are the challenges and opportunities? Because whatever challenge presents itself, it's also an opportunity, particularly to the service provider. what are the challenges that and opportunities that you normally encounter in the field of track maintenance in the SADC region or in the areas where you are specifically operating? I will not be saying you or you or you. Anyone can start because by the time my time finishes,
Maybe let me take a lead.
thank you.
Track maintenance in its essence, and I think you've made a very good example by referring to the potholes. It speaks to how safe the track is, and that on its own refers to, in terms of safety, there's a risk element. And what I've realized and what I've seen, like now over this period, when assessing the other partners, of which I will then talk to the collaborations that I think will assist this collaboration or SARA in essence, and I will be putting a challenge maybe in my closing remarks, is to say the risk of the potholes as it would be in your car, that again has got a bearing effect as to how, whether you can get your funding, that now I'm referring to the end users. With us, like in terms of like no, when we look into maintenance, it's got a life cycle. If you buy a car, it's got like when it needs to be serviced. Equally with the rail, it's got its own maintenance cycles. And your maintenance intervention speaks to like no, what input costs will be there in terms of your material requirements. For instance, as the railway fastening manufacturer, we expect that the products that we manufacture, in terms of innovation, that they should prolong the lifespan of that particular product or that railway network and so forth. And in so doing, it capacitates you in terms of your in terms of your turnaround time. It capacitates you in terms of like now rechanneling the funds that you are saving when like now that gets into your balance sheet, where you can repurpose those for expansion, for growth, and then like more business for us in future. So I would say then, like in terms of that, it requires more inspections. We've like developed products, for instance, for detecting, for your predictive maintenance, like your condition monitoring systems. If you visit our stand, you will be introduced to the ultrasonic machine that we've got in there. That's so critical for any engineer in this house to say how often do you inspect your railway, your network to ensure that, okay, it is safe, to ensure that it is available, to ensure that it is reliable, and our part, we ensure that it is affordable. That's like the innovation part that we are banking on. So that's what I can just say for now.
Thank you very much.
I will.
The next one,
Thank you, Edie.
Plaza South Africa.
Plaza South Africa. Thank you, Edie. Yes, Plaza South Africa, as I've said earlier on, we've been in the country for a very long time doing railway track maintenance using mechanized maintenance machinery. And yes, those machines, some of them are what are called ballast cleaners, the temping machines, the regulators, OHT machines, the measuring cars, which all fix those potholes we're talking about ED. And yes, these machines are available at our plant, and we list them, as I said, to Southern Africa to support them to make sure that the railways, the railway operations are safe. We play a crucial role in making sure that those potholes that the ED is referring to are taken care of. And of course, we work hand in hand with the operators that we work with to make sure that they know exactly what needs to be done in terms of track assessment, using the machines like the measuring cars, and ensure that they've got enough information that can tell beforehand what needs to be done, so that maintenance can be done for a very, very long time using information that is in their hands. And yes, we always encourage that operators must always understand that preventive maintenance is always key, instead of doing what is called corrective maintenance, which is reactive. If you look at what needs to be done beforehand, and you do what needs to be done, you'll save a lot of money, because as it is said, a stitch in time saves 9. And we believe that if operators can make sure that they do preventive maintenance, they'll save a lot of money to ensure that there is safe railways to be operated by them as they provide their services to its customers. Thank you, Ide.
Thank you very much. Before I give Prasa, let me give this one. Because Prasa,
Oh,
Come
okay. Thank you for that. Sorry, Prasa. We were put in front of you. I would actually go a little bit on the contradiction to my panel member here by saying that, okay, why don't you try and monitor and fix the potholes that will not appear if you can monitor your infrastructure automatically by not using any inspection vehicles, not using any machinery, but use the new technology which is actually available in the market to actually monitor your infrastructure. It is, as I said yesterday, a little bit of changing the chip, changing the game, and changing the mentality. Why do the same as we did yesterday when we can do things differently from today?
thank you very much, Prasa.
I think
You will come and answer. Let's give all of you an opportunity first.
as an operator, I will need the suppliers to support from the operation side. If you look at how PRASA operates, we operate 2,280 kilometers. We own that. But we also operate over the Transnet lines. But the biggest problem or the challenge that we have, before I go into the condition assessments, it's the theft and vandalism that hit us. But the biggest challenge that we are facing in the main is the environmental challenges. The flooding and the lack of drainage systems that has actually accumulated over time has been closed. There is no areas that the water run away from the line. So basically it affects the formation. We can bring the machines, but we need to understand what is the fundamental problem on the ground, so that when the machines are coming, they are helping us to get the track quality index up. As we speak, we are struggling to optimize fully because of a lot of potholes that we have. And these potholes, they require the screening machines, the defects are there, but as soon as that happens, you still have more problems on the formation. So we are tackling an issue, it's like a tip of an iceberg. We need to try and look at it from the bottom, go up. Yes, we do need the regulators, we need all these machines, but we really need to look at the contributing problem at large. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Prasa, for that, not Plaza. You see, where my office, at times we can't say Prasa or Plaza. It all depends on my mood that day. I can pronounce R as L or L as R. Before Mabuza answers, my next question, I know you were given questions, but I'm going to confuse all of you.
Okay.
These potholes, as I described them earlier, they lead to speed restrictions. But on the road, they lead to proper navigation. The challenge we have in the SADC region is lack of funding to deal or prioritize rail maintenance. How do you, as service provider, give value proposition to your client, like PRASA or TFR or Zimbabwe, National Railways of Zimbabwe, Zambia Railways and so forth, for you to convince them that track maintenance is indeed a priority?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe let me start by answering that question before I maybe venture into attempting to answer my colleague here. First of all, you can see your problems as maybe a lack of capacity in terms of locomotives or wagons. The rail authorities must have what is called a maintenance plan. When you get into an office, it's a good chance now that I'm saying this, because they are captains of the industry, they were ministers and everyone else. So that when they get into the engineering, any engineering, should it be signals, payway, electrical, whatever office, where is your maintenance plan? That maintenance plan, even the funders, no one will ever fund any authority where the trains are going to be running, on an unsafe environment. So surely what you need to do, first of all, you need to, depending on your affordability, meaning that you have to do your cost-benefit analysis. Like engineers should be able to know what I'm talking about in terms of how you scale up your maintenance, where it needs to be capitalized, where there needs to be some maintenance interventions, and in what form for prolonged maintenance cycle of maintenance in that space. How do you do that? That's the question. One of the ways to do that, for instance, he has just mentioned formation, of which, like, if there was a collaborative effort with suppliers like Pandro, we do have an underballast mat that is used in areas where formation is a problem. Because as engineers, we know what causes that. It's like, it's drainage, one of the things. So there is a problem for that. And it does not need maybe any technological intervention. You can you feel that, you see that, is your visual inspection. So surely, to ensure that there are enough turnaround times, because that's what's going to talk into your financiers to say, these trains are going to be moving this amount of commodities and to a particular point, safe, and they will be available, meaning that there's going to be no derailment, there's not going to be no effect in human life in terms of death sometimes, and the loss of capacity of the locomotive that have been purchased. Therefore, they will be keen looking at what has to be moved to fund those projects. And I think the rail authorities needs to look at that in that particular way to answer that.
Thank you very much. You will answer him later on. Maybe to clarify my question, because yes, every railway, I've been an operator for many years. Every railway company or railway entity has a maintenance plan.
Not all.
All of them, they do have. The problem is financing that maintenance plan. So the issue is, what is the value proposition that we are bringing in? Let me give you an example why I'm asking that question. If you go around the region, what we traditionally called temporary speed restrictions are temporary for 25 years.
Yeah.
But they are supposed to be temporary speed restriction for less than 3 months. But they are going to 25 years as temporary speed restriction. But we never upgrade them to permanent speed restrictions. We know what to do. We put them in our budgets, but we always use money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Dr. Dantile, can you be practical on that?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, because of I anticipated that we won't have enough time. I anticipated the questions and prepared some answers which I think will address both your questions and my friend's questions on my left. And if you allow me, I'll just read quickly, which will be about 2 minutes, so that you can hear what is it that we think should be tried and given attention to. Firstly, it will be important for you to understand the service we render, which is consulting with the clients, technical support, training, provision of spare parts, machine refurbishments, and of course, new machine sales through a company called PNT Africa. And I go down to address exactly your question and also the AD questions. Customers want an efficient, predictable, and a cost-effective service from rail operators, for which they are prepared to pay. Rail operators must listen to their customer needs and ensure that they engage with them on an ongoing basis to provide the expected service. If the infrastructure is not well maintained, there will be disruptions in the operations that will have a negative impact on the service to customers, which is exactly what we're talking about the speed restrictions. And I go to the end of my anticipated answers to your questions, Edie, and I say, railways are a key component of any country's support transport system. And we all know that an efficient transport system is a very key driver of the economy. We thus need to ensure, exactly talking about planning as well, that railway operators do proper planning to manage the maintenance of railway infrastructure, supported by their respective governments to ensure optimization of railway infrastructure maintenance. And I want to say, if we don't, yes, you're right, ED, there are supposed to be good plans, but if that is not done through consultation with us as service providers, there won't be optimization of what can be done together as customers and the operators. And I'm saying, therefore, failing to plan is planning to fail. And as such, I would like to say, let us talk and engage with the customers to ensure that what you are saying, we engage about and make sure that we find solutions that are going to make sure that those potholes, those restrictions are dealt with in a way that is going to make sure that the railway operation is safe and efficient. Thank you.
Thank you very much. NGRT?
Yes, thank you. To go to your questions, what can we as suppliers do and help to assist the railways and to help them doing better planning? I'll use an example, not from here in South Africa, but we have a client who came to us and said, we have challenges with this and this and this. And then we asked them, okay, how much does these challenges cost you per year? Knowing that our technology has a 25 years lifetime, 300 months, they came to us and say, well, we have so many derailments, we have so many days of non-operation, we have so many days of this and this. And with the numbers that they actually gave us, we said to them, okay, if you implement this technology, you will have the return of the investment in 2.17 months, which means the next 298 months, you will have pure profit from your challenges. So that is one way that we as suppliers can help them to understand maybe they should change the focus from the problems and then looking forward.
Maybe like
Thank you very much.
I will need
Mabuza,
to
you
jump in.
want to chip in?
Sorry, yeah. You know, I will make a classic example of what was referred to earlier on by my MD in terms of what happened in DRC, where we had to go and demonstrate the efficacy of our system, of which is like now the anti-sabotage systems, although we have the anti-theft. To date, nothing has been stolen in there. Just like to paint a picture, that the systems that are being implemented in some of the regions, they are reactive than being proactive. If then an approach where you know that, okay, there are these hotspots, and then you start to apply the possible solutions that are availed by your suppliers, surely you're not going to be having problems. Look, if then like those fastenings, which is ours, were stolen, that means that like now there would be derailments. That means that like there will be a loss of business because of the business cannot go on that line if the fastenings aren't there, as well as maybe like fatalities and so forth that you might refer to. Surely like the system does work. Only if we can be, that's why we're referring to maintenance plans, to say if you are being proactive. Being proactive does not necessarily mean that, okay, you have to spend money. Like with a bit of like now your inspections in whatever form, depending on what you can afford, then like, and you attend to those kind of things well in time, that will mean that, okay, you can be able to make money because you're able to move whatever that you need to move on that line. Therefore, your business is thriving. And that's as simple as that.
Thank you very much, Mabuza. I hear Mabuza, Richard, and Dr. Dantile basically saying you have to convince the customer or your client to spend money in order to make money.
Yes.
And you have to give solutions that are satisfactory to the customer. In terms of technological advancements, and this is to PRASA, what has been your experience in terms of the service providers that you deal with? Have you found that technology and technological improvements is something that is worth accommodating, or we should go back to those fastenings and clips that we used to use in the old days?
No, we have to embrace change. And we have started doing that. We have lost a lot of rail clips. We started putting anti-vandal clips. In some areas, there was obviously any product that comes into market, it gets to be tested, and then obviously the thieves are always ahead of you. But the improvement to date, if you look at the rail fastenings, they has actually made more provision to more vandal proof. So also, from a technology point of view, if you think you're going to sit and wait for the security guys to be on the road, we need more detectors on the line. And nowadays, because we are removing most of the old signaling system, we're bringing the new signaling system, there's other measures that we can put on the line, even broken rail detectors. They will help, because once they start hitting them, there's other signals that we are getting back. So from a technology point of view, we can improve. We need decision support systems where you're digitizing the entire line. The on-track machines they run, you bring the data under the same, you now observe in terms of those signatures to see where's this pattern. You then hook up your automation. That will be the ears and the eyes of the operations. And obviously, improving the current setup of ballast tracks, we need to start getting ballastless tracks. Because from a comfort point of view, what I've experienced in other countries, you realize that we are actually not accommodating comfort in our designs. So those are the blended designs that we can start bringing them in, because at some point, you want to appreciate the high-speed rails service, but yet we're still more on ballast. Some areas, they cannot really accommodate ballast. So those are the changes and technology changes that we can bring in to try to make sure that the permanent way is robust enough, because the high availability of the track, it gives the capacity to the train service, and it makes the system, or like signaling system, to make the capacity even more agile. Because if you've got the potholes, you will actually be going more into low speeds. It's as if now you can do manual authorization. Thank you.
Thank
Edie,
you very much.
Just a quick one, Edie.
Yes, Doctor.
I would like us to see, as suppliers, as business partners to our clients, discussions like these are very, very helpful when we sit down, even before tenders are given out, so that we understand exactly what needs to be done. And I'm saying this because even in our stand outside here, we had discussions like these where we say, as consultants in this field, talk to us and let us know what you want. You may come and say, please sell me or list to me a tamping machine, but we know that before you do that, you need to do screening, which is fundamental and like a foundation of the track, the formation. And yes, we advise and give suggestions and proposals as to what needs to be done to ensure that you do the right thing from the plethora of machines that we have, so that we save money as we do that. And so I would like to say, let us engage more, like he's talking to me, my friend from Prasa, so that as we go along providing the machines that do a good job, we ensure that we provide what they need, because we have, but they may need something that they don't need, or we can advise differently. And in such a way, they can as well save money, because they will use the money for what is mostly needed for their operation. Thank you, Edie.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, we are running out of time. I'm going to give you 2 minutes each for your service offerings. Say, why should we use you? I don't know who will start.
Okay,
But Mabuza,
I thought I was next. Okay. No, thank you. I think we are better positioned to be used, and no one else maybe has attempted to get into the space. All we are asking, in terms of like the anti-theft systems that we've got, and I think Prasa is right to say like now we've built, fastenings that are robust, that are like sort of theft resistant, those that are affected by the social, technical aspects of the rail, where there's theft and vandalism. The anti-sabotage systems, we've got our welding, which is like now incomparable in so many ways with the competitors in that space. But all that said, because maybe that's my last time that I say something, to SARA specifically, and I think that is to you, we need some kind of collaboration. I think the technical team that was once alluded to needs to be functional. We need to be part of it, and that will enable that each and every member of SARA that is here, including the rail authorities, they don't go to China for certain things, and when they fail, they look at us. That will make sure that will again give at least some sense of why do we have to gather in this conference? Because if things are available here, we should have the first right of refusal, if I may say. So we do have solutions, and most of the customers know that. And I'm pleading to the SARA organization, having said that, because our products are well tested and they've been proven, and they are in the system as we speak. And we keep on innovating all the time. So this is just like a plea to SARA. Please ensure that you've got a properly defined policy in terms of how do we engage with our organizations that are part of SARA. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mabusa. I'm sure you realize that when you are talking of special preference, you are speaking next to my board member. I
Yes.
think he was listening.
Yes.
I don't know who wants to get next. Prasa, I'm going to ask you in terms of your satisfaction, when you answer, when you give your final remarks, whether you are satisfied with what the local service providers in the region are providing you. I just want you to think about that one.
I would like to then go on those, not 2 minutes, but maybe 1 minute, by saying I totally agree with my member here that maybe the railways, and I don't say this in disrespect, maybe the railways should stop thinking that they know the best. Maybe they should stop thinking, saying, yeah, we know there are some products out there, but we can fix it ourselves. The suppliers are here to help you, not fight against you. So I totally agree. If there is communication kind of transparent in between the parties, that can only be to the good. And SARA, as an organization, has all the means and potentially also some power to make that happen. So as far as NJRT stands, we will be more than happy to meet the railways and then listen to them. What are your challenges? What can I help you with? And if I cannot help you, maybe I know someone who can. And in that way, we will get a better railway together.
Thank you very much, Richard. Doctor?
Chair, I'm going to emphasize what I said earlier on, the importance of engagement with the customer, including Prasa next to me here. It is very, very cardinal that we do that so that we understand their needs fully and give the necessary support and consultation in terms of what we do as far as our expertise is concerned. And I'm glad to say, maybe when we come next year, this same panel should be here because we as Prasa South Africa are beginning to do the screening, ballast screening for all the regions, Western Cape, Gauteng, and Durban for Prasa. And we're looking forward to do that because we know what it's gonna do to that track. And then when we come here, it will be easy for him or for anybody from Prasa to say, how have they seen, how we have helped them as business partners to ensure that the track formation is up to scratch and to standard, and as such, it is safe and efficient. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Fezile. Prasa?
Chair, the current technologies and components that we get and service we get from the suppliers is satisfactory. However, there's a room for improvement. What we are talking about here, we are solving problems in isolation. They can go and develop something thinking that it will solve a problem, but the actual railway operators are the ones that are observing this behavior of this particular asset. And that close collaboration and research, in fact, needs to happen closely. So when you go out there, you are not only reading a specification to say, PRASA wants 1, 2, 3, but you know exactly why there's an improvement on this particular component. Because many a times we're only thinking that theft and vandalism can be just curbed by putting more concrete or putting more robust steel to it. There are other methods and better ways that we can improve. So where I'm sitting as the operator and looking at the faster rate of doing production from the machines, I need the line to operate. They need the line to operate, to do the screening. I think that technology, if we start improving to give us more production or even become more autonomous, even at night, you may be able to deploy few people to work. So those are the interventions that we are saying that the operator wants to operate, but I don't have the entire day. I need to move the people. If you can tempt 10 sleepers in so many minutes, how can you improve from that so that we can be able to realize large volumes of screening being done in areas in a quicker way, but with a good quality? So we as the operators, we are constrained in terms of we need time. The suppliers, they also need time. There's no time for occupation. So how do we then try to bring technology to fast track this implementation? So these are the interventions that they cannot be thought outside the operations. The operators need to be part of the discussion so that when the service providers are designing something, they are knowing exactly how are they solving this problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What I understand from the discussion, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is need for dialogue between the service providers and the operators. The operators cannot come up with what just they want without the involvement and dialogue and collaboration with the service providers. Because what the operators might be thinking of in terms of a maintenance solution might not be what is technologically appropriate for their problem. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.